Very happy to be back.
I'm happy to have you, and we have a conversation on two issues that don't seem much alike here, but what they have in common is they transcend politics, right? And what it comes down to is they are about transparency and accountability in the government. And the first thing I want to talk today about is a hot button issue, the documents surrounding Jeffrey Epstein. The House Oversight Committee released over 33,000 documents related to disgraced financier and sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. These include videos, flight logs, and others. So, to start off the conversation, what did you learn here?
Yeah, well, I'm still looking through those documents, and what I can tell you is there's some old, but there's also some new. For the first time with this administration, via Trump's decision, we've actually been able to see what all exists pertaining to Jeffrey Epstein, and it's a lot bigger than I think people realize. As part of our task force in oversight, we were pushing for this back in early this year when we were the only ones doing it. And then you're seeing kind of how it snowballed. But what I would like to just specify to people is that, based on the witness testimony, a lot of people have asked, what did the witnesses say in that room? They gave us names. They told us that we need to be following up with Deutsche Bank, of which Chairman Comer has already authorized or issued a request from the Treasury Department for those SARS reports, meaning that we're going to get the financial records and transactions. We are also told, and this is nothing new, a lot of people that have been investigating Jeffrey Epstein know that this was definitely a big, large-scale finance operation, also to funding his entire organization. But we're talking about shell corporations, we're talking about offshore accounts, we're talking about also other countries. We were also told that there was other intelligence agencies or other agencies involved, countries involved with Jeffrey Epstein. And I say that as in more than one because there's been this common conception that it was just one specific foreign country. That's not true. It was multiple. So it's a lot bigger than I think people realize and anticipate. And what I'm hoping to uncover in this investigation is we want to ensure that the victims are given justice because they actually had told us that they had previously requested their information from previous administrations and were denied. And for the first time, we are actually going to be able to get them their information, documents pertaining to themselves about things, unfortunately, that they were exposed to or that they were subjected to. That was wrong that the other administration denied that information. And so we are very grateful for President Trump to come forward with that information. But what I don't like happening is I am seeing this effort to release the files, of which we have now released them, being used also to at the same time smear the president. And I do stand with the victims, and obviously we are very much so supporting them and doing everything that we can to deliver justice and ensure that these people are investigated and brought to justice. But what is not okay is when people are taking it and making it partisan. And the victims, to their credit, actually last night, I believe, on MSNBC, had actually stated that President Trump was never involved. And the fact that that was even a question from some media outlets, and also to the fact that it seems to be some members of Congress that are alluding to that or pushing that narrative, that's wrong. And so I think it's disrespectful to the victims and disrespectful to the investigation as well.
And something that your Republican colleague said, Thomas Massey, he said that he doesn't think President Trump is implicated in these files, but he does think that his donors and his friends are. When you're looking at this and you're saying that it's bigger than we can anticipate, are you seeing names of donors? Are you seeing famous names people know? Will people get those names?
I think that people deserve to get those names. What I can also tell you is some of those names are already publicly out there. It's not President Trump's just associates. It's literally, I think it's Bill Gates and former President Bill Clinton that are also, known associates. But it doesn't necessarily mean, right, if someone is on a list per se for, knowing someone or in a black book, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're guilty of a crime. And so those are two facts that you have to differentiate. Now, we have subpoenaed Bill Clinton, and we've also subpoenaed a number of other people to include Acosta. And that information I'm a huge advocate for, and I wish that they would have released these files at the very get-go in the beginning, and I think they should have put them onto the National Archives website. I also know that House Oversight is working at actually rescanning and uploading these documents into PDF format to make it more easy for the American people to search through. But I do think that you'll find that there's information in there that we are also too coinciding with this investigation. And so the victims did ask that we not name people just yet because they're attorneys and they are fully cooperating with the committee as a whole to investigate these people. And the reason they don't want us to name these names yet, and why you didn't see them name them yesterday, and why you didn't see other members of Congress naming them specifically, is because they are afraid that these people will try to destroy evidence in the event that they know that they're now under investigation, and what I think will lead to a criminal investigation. And then on top of that, you also have this aspect of, there's also apparently a class action lawsuit with some of these victims and these banks for not flagging this. And so there's an aspect of our job in that, yes, we can conduct an investigation, but we also can't interfere with personal lawsuits, especially when there's money involved. And so we are doing our best to make sure that we are, delivering on justice, delivering our word and promises to the American people, but then also at the same time that we're not interfering with a class action lawsuit.